So we'll see that after several implied failures also to make a lead in the past, Nina finally achieves the lead role in her company's reproduction of Swan Lake. So the viewer learns early on that Nina struggles with several issues including obsessions with dancing and perfectionism as well as an eating disorder. So additionally, Nina lives with her mother who also displays elements of some illness including narcissistic personality and depressive features. So the story progresses as Nina becomes increasingly engrossed in her role as the Swan Queen. Nina's struggles peak when her free-spirited dancing counterpart Lily, played by Mila Kunis, begins competing for the lead position. So while this film dramatizes the whole unveiling of Nina's illness, it presents some reasonably accurate elements of first break psychosis. So Black Swan clearly highlights the first-hand perspective of individuals with psychosis and their interpretation of reality. So although these perceptions may deviate significantly from the real world, the film progresses and portrays the extent to which individuals with psychosis also will become different kinds of people, and they believe their delusions, their hallucinations, and it also shows how this misinterpretation becomes increasingly confusing, alarming, and dangerous to the individual. Similar to most real-life presentations, Nina's psychotic symptoms gradually worsen over time. Her disturbance in perception is evidenced by hallucinations which evolve from shadows and seeing her face also on others. So to Nina's belief, she is physically actually transforming into a swan. So as she becomes increasingly paranoid that Lily is trying to steal her role and sabotage her, her behavior also becomes progressively unstable and also erratic. So she experiments with drugs and alcohol, different intimate partners, and becomes increasingly agitated. So the story finally concludes when Nina has fatally wounded herself with a shard of mirror, believing that she had stabbed Lily while fighting over who would dance the last act of Swan Lake. So Black Swan does an exceptional job relaying elements of psychosis and also the psychological implications of untreated mental illness. For example, Nina's demographics, the social circumstances also present actual risk factors for first break psychosis, including an individual in their 20s, the presence of other psychiatric comorbidities, intense external stress, and a primary family member with mental illness. Additionally, Nina's experimentations with also drugs, alcohol, her risky intimate behavior, all of that present very clearly her ability to safely care for herself while untreated. However, the story also relays a few details inaccurately, largely for dramatic effect and also viewer experience. Namely, Nina's preponderance of visual hallucinations is not frequently encountered in actual patient presentations, whereas auditory hallucinations are much more frequently reported. Lastly, you will see that Nina's inclination towards violent behavior when she becomes increasingly psychiatrically ill is a social stigma and misinterpretation of psychotic illness that has not been substantiated by the literature. Overall, the story as such, the film, serves as a great tool for illustrating the debilitating nature of psychosis. It highlights the need for treatment of mental illness in order to preserve patients' quality of life.